Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode. We're so excited because today we have Lee with us again, and we're actually going to be talking about the first time we met. So she actually came into my salon suite. She was a client of mine, and I was like, what do you do? And we talked, and I was like, that same day, I'm pretty sure I was like, can I come over and pay you to do a reading for me and just, see what you see? And so my husband now, but boyfriend at the time, Lance, which is not my husband, we went over to her place and you carried away. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was amazing.
Lance was like not feeling it. He was
Could you feel his energy?
skeptical.
Oh, the whole way he was like, no. Because he was scared you were going to say like, y'all aren't meant to be together. Like,
it was the exact
I think
opposite.
that's every boyfriend, when you like tell them you want to go do something, they're like terrified.
I'm scared. The only reason I told you what I do is because people are so judgmental. And immediately whenever I tell people, I don't tell people what I do because immediately they're just like, oh God, or oh, you're a witch. The amount of times I've been called a witch, I'm like, are y'all trying to burn me? I'm literally not a witch.
Yeah.
But, I hate it how people have that stigma. So I'm working so hard trying to break that stigma.
Which is why I love that you're on this podcast, and I love that you talked about how you are a believer of God, because I think that's like the biggest misconception is that people think that if you have any other ideologies or if you have any special gifts, like you're immediately like a devil worker.
Well, I think like growing up, every single kids show or every movie or, like even, what was it, Princess and the Frog with like Tiana, like that whole storyline, like that was always the storyline that we were presented growing up, is that like...
And again, there's good and bad. Like there's some terrible estheticians that, are in it for vanity and money and fame. And then there's those that are here because they are a service to others. There's doctors that, or have such a big ego that they're not going to listen to your needs. And there's other that are doctors because they want to heal and help. And same thing like we talked about, there's light workers and there's dark workers in your industry. There's good people, there's bad people. Like it's not like one way or the other. It's not like everyone's in the same category.
Totally. And so initially though, it was the exact opposite of what Lance was thinking. And I immediately, her energy is so beautiful. I was like, you and Lance are going to get married, have babies, and have...
She predicted Cyrus. You told me my first child would be a boy.
I saw him like as a little cherub angel, and I saw flowers around her, literally the white picket fence, the whole thing. And I was like, oh, it's a done deal. Like it's already... Like, y'all have already signed this contract before y'all. Yeah, it was written in the stars before you guys got here. Wow. And so he kind of like his shoulders relaxed, and I was like, but there's another guy. Like, so you're gonna have a throuple? No,
we are throuple.
Well, like your energy came in. Like I saw that immediately, right? It was like it was her and Lance, and it was clear, and I saw Cyrus and everything.
And I just want to say real quick, this is before Tyler and I had ever met. Not even a client of mine at the time. Like he was not even in my world at all. I mean, he was, but he wasn't. Yeah. So he was a client too.
Oh my God. I love that. So I saw you though, and I was like, well, there's another guy here that's going to come in. I think it's more business related. But you were showing up so strong, so powerfully, and at such a high level in her purpose that it was like, I was kind of looking at Lance, kind of like, I don't know. It was like, it was a very interesting energy. It was very clear that it wasn't romantic, but it was so loving and so spiritually driven and so powerful that I was like, it's going to be incremental to your success.
You told me verbatim, and I'll never forget this. This man is going to come into your life and put out fires for you, and he's going to literally protect you. Like he is going to keep you on your purpose. Like he's going to help basically put out all of the fires that you can't handle.
And I told you, I remember, because I picked up your energy. It was almost like you were in the room with us, not to scare you, but it was almost like you're in the room. And I was like, he's a very strong, silent type, and you kind of are.
Yeah.
Like
he's an observer,
and it's one of those things to where when people ask me for a reading, I don't ask the gods or wave a magic wand or try to read into something. I literally will say a prayer and just ask God to use me. Like, God, what do you want to say? Just whatever. And I completely detach from any objective, from any information. I'm not trying. I am objective. I have no horses in the race. I am just a truth seeker. Yeah. I love the truth. I'm only here for the truth, and that's what I'm driven by. And so I had no objective, nothing at all. And then it just turned into such a beautiful reading with so much information about the future. Whereas in a lot of readings are usually like about where people are presently, but it was like, I just felt God was telling you kind of like to just focus on the future, and that there was just so much that was coming through.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what she had told me. And that was like right at the time where my business was like, it was good, but like, it wasn't what it is today. She's like, you just have so much success. Like, keep going. Like, I see just everything that you're wanting. Like, if you keep on that track, like, it's going to happen for you. And I will never forget that. And then the other crazy thing was the whole Adriel thing. Like, and that was, I don't know if you like remember this clearly as much as I do, but because I know you've done so much, but this was so crazy. Because I remember asking you, like, when you said something about Tyler, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that's amazing. Like, do you see like anything else? And you're like, actually, yeah, I see like you in a new space, and I see an Asian woman working for you. And at this time, I was like ready to move into my new space, and I was looking to have somebody, you know, I think actually this might have been a different time. I think this might have been when you were in clinic with me. Okay, this is when we were talking about it when you were actually at my suite. I think this was like maybe a couple months later, and I'd actually had met you, but he was just a male client. Like, it wasn't.
You didn't know it was me.
I still didn't know that was him. And I was like talking about like hiring and stuff. I was like, you know, I was so confused, and it was so scary for me. And I was like, you know, asking you, I was like, do you see anything? You like actually see an Asian woman? And I was like, okay, like, cool. And I'm like, am I going to be biased now? And
Which
like,
is so weird because I never get specifics usually. I mean, sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But it's always weird saying them because you feel like, but I think because you are so claircognizant, or you're so clairvoyant with the visions.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm claircognizant to where I get things in dreams or just my knowing. So I'll just think myself sometimes into, I'll get a thought and be like, God, why'd you put that there? So, that I just wanted to say that is rare. It's rare that I get visions like that are so specific.
So you think it's because it's having to do with me, and I can see so much?
I think because you're so strong in your purpose. So another thing is a lot of people, it's like there's potentialities because there's so much free will involved. But you're so driven, and I think your purpose is so strong that spirit is able to work through you a lot easier than a lot of people that are in friction with themselves. And since you don't have that barrier, it's actually a pleasure to work with people like you. Aww. And I wish I had more clients like you. I have a lot of clients that just,
it's like hard to see it.
She almost doesn't have free will because it's already like
that's what's happening. And I'm very decisive now, which is something I grew up having an issue with. Is like, you know, I'd like teeter-totter back and forth with things, and now I'm like, I just know like what I want, what I don't want. But okay, so then I remember you said that to me, and then like a couple weeks went by, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna find these people. Like, who's gonna want to work for a startup business for like $10 an hour, and like I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. Like, COVID just happened, like who knows? And so I was like, you know what, best bet is to just start asking like my clients, because that's who really was the only people in my circle at that time, because I'd cut out pretty much every like friend that was like, you know, still partying and doing drugs and like just like weren't on the same path that I was going, which, you know, is always hard, but it's also like to get to where you need to go, you are who you surround yourself with, you know? True. So it was like hard, but I had to do what I had to do. But I asked, you know, Tyler was always just like so young, but like so driven and like really cared about his career. And like, he just seemed like every time I talked to him, he had like good people around him, and he grew up in this area. So I was like, hey, like, do you know anyone that would need a job? And he was like, actually, my friend Adriel like just came home from NYU because of COVID and everything, and like she would be perfect. And I like jokingly was like, is she Asian? And he got up from his thing, looked around, he's like, how did you know that? And I was like, I was just asking because I saw like this lady who like is so amazing, and like she told me that she saw an Asian woman working for me, and he was like, yeah, she is Asian. And I was like, oh my God. And then I met her, and like we just instantly like clicked, and like she was such an instrumental part of my business. Like, clients to this day 6 years later like are like, remember Adriel because of how big her heart and spirit was. And like, so happy for her because she's going to be a lawyer, and obviously have bigger dreams than being a receptionist at SBA, sadly. But I mean,
she was a good energy that I saw coming in. That you needed.
I mean, she saved me. I mean, you know, could not have done it without her.
Amazing.
Absolutely would not be where I am today without Adriel. She was and she's still someone that's in my life and Tyler's life. And so it's such a beautiful thing. But that, for me, I think those two things. And then when Tyler came into my life more fiercely, I was like, everything that you had said that one day, like, all happened, and it was just crazy. So when she texted me to get a white lizard, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm getting a white lizard. Like if she told me to go like move to Canada, like I'd fucking move to Canada. Because you really have. And I've done readings and I've done things like that in the past, and like, when something is true and intentional in others. Like I did one for a pet reading that Tyler was like literally rolling his eyes the entire time because this lady, like, it just wasn't. She was definitely not.
It was like a pet communicator.
But she didn't even like ask for
I am so entertained by those, but so skeptical.
But it was like a phone call, the pets didn't have to be in the room, and like
I don't know, that's wild.
And she was like talking in like dog voice. She was like, and Millie says like that she wants to eat more treats, and I'm like, okay,
wow,
like obviously my dog wants more treats.
Yeah,
like it was just like it was just not.
More cheeky.
Yeah, it was very generalized. Like
I want to hear that my dog is reincarnated.
Yeah, like I thought she was going to tell him. That's what I think Nala is. I think Nala, my gray cat, like 1000% is from past life.
She's so mystical.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah, no, Nala is like my soulmate. Like, I mean, I remember being sad when I found out I was pregnant because I was scared because like I didn't want our bond to change because like she was like my baby. Like if you asked me if I like had a child, like. And I know people say that and throw that around, but like I literally like feel so connected to this cat that like she came out of me, like no doubt about it. Like she's like part of me, and I feel like there's some animals that are just like there, and like again, like same thing with people that have like no depth to them. Like they're literally just like, that sounds mean, but they're just like a pet. Like when you meet, but then there's those animals that there's just so much more behind the eyes, and like they're just so empathetic, and like. They just feel so much deeper. Like my mom had a dog like that, Ollie, and like all my mom's dogs have been great, but Ollie, like for sure, has like been with us for lifetimes. Like I know that dog for a fact has, because it's just again intuition. Like it's just I know, and like the connection is just so much deeper, and like it's just like they don't care to do like normal cat and dog things, like a little bit, but like they're mostly like they're just attached to you. They're like always like, where are you? Like, where are you at? Like my other cats, I could die and like they wouldn't give a fuck. Nala, like she's very sensitive to everything that I feel and everything I'm going through, and it's just different.
So healing.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But I think this has just all been super interesting because I've never done a reading.
Was his energy closed off when he came in? Because I know it was.
So I picked up a little fear, like a little. I immediately felt he was a little like maybe nervous or fearful or a little like judgy or like side eye. But then I felt it, and then I felt it instantly, kind of not completely relaxed. The wall didn't come completely down, but I felt it for a second, and then for another second, I felt like maybe there was a curiosity. I felt like maybe he wants to learn. Curiosity. So I think it. Hopefully,
I'm a very open person, so I think.
Oh, get closer. Sorry.
I know that was my issue too.
I'm a curious person. My favorite thing to do is read and like read about all things. Like you can ask her. I love reading, so I know
you're very
open.
Intelligent.
Yeah, I was very open. But I think there was definitely some nervousness because I've never done it before. So I think like...
Well, you're in good hands.
Yeah, no, I can
honestly.
tell.
I know, I want to hear about Tyler's aura.
It's beautiful. It's powerful. First of all, you are very intelligent. That was one of the things I was picking up when I did. I kind of have done a reading for you.
Yeah, through me.
Through her. Because
so
I was
funny.
like, oh my God, he's so smart. And I was just like, I could feel the energy. It's hard to explain. Sometimes I get visions, and then other times...
Because you said you knew he was tall.
Yeah, I exact same build, same height, hair... Literally everything. I saw
so
you.
Wild.
But I was feeling kind of like a day in the life type thing. Like I was feeling like how hard you work, and I was feeling how strong your ethics and your like moral compass was. And then I could feel how intelligent you were. I was like, this guy's so smart. He probably make me feel, stupid. Like I was picking up, and you are totally different in the intellectual context, because I was thinking this guy uses like really big words. He probably reads all day.
Yeah.
Like I could feel how intelligent you were. And I was like, this guy's gonna be great for you and your business. And so, and meeting you in person, all of your aura reflects what I already kind of knew. So it's beautiful. But I will say it's a little bit, like it's hard through social media or pictures, and even through a reading, you're picking up little pieces. Nothing replaces the energetic exchange of being sitting right next to somebody. So I will say you're a little bit, there's a little bit more of like a sweetness, a innocence, and like a softness to you that I didn't pick up before.
Yeah,
I was picking up
he has a soft heart.
I do.
Yeah. I can feel it.
He's a softie. So do you see, when you see an aura, is it true that you can see colors, or is it really just a feeling?
Sometimes. So like I've seen some people that literally have like a black cloud.
I remember you telling me this. Yeah.
And it's scary. And then I've felt other people, I can almost like feel the aura more so, and that'll happen a lot out in public. Like yesterday, I was at North Park, worst place for empath, on Saturday.
Oh my God, you're like all these energies. Is that why when I go somewhere with a lot of crowded things, like my head feels foggy and like I just feel
she like shuts down.
I like
overstimulated. It's like you have like 2,000 TVs all blaring the news at you.
Oh yeah, and like when I'm meeting people at events, like I'm not really like doing like physical. I feel like I like ran 17 miles like after, and I'm like I'm
energetically.
I'm like meeting so many people. It's so hard.
Yeah, it is. But I was walking though, and I was in Italy, and I was like walking away from like the bar to get away from people to go look at pasta, and I felt like this man's presence, and I was just like, it was getting instantly when he came within like maybe 6 feet of walking behind me, it felt warm. And then as he got right to pass me, it felt like fire, like hot fire. And then I looked at him and he looked at me, and it was a kind of a unique exchange of energy because his energy was so strong and neutral.
Wow.
Which was so weird to me because it was like this strong heat, and then he gave me a look, and it was completely like in his eyes, I just felt this like a softness and then a fire. It was like the strongest good and bad in a person. It was just a weird
that's so crazy
aura that he had that I felt, and I didn't see any colors or anything.
Yeah,
I
was just felt
like,
it.
That's a strong man. And like sure enough, like I was just curious. I'm walking around the store, I saw him again, like walking into a car, and it's like a brand new Bentley, and I'm like, he must be a very powerful man because he's just like had that aura already.
That's
and
amazing.
It was interesting. But yeah, your aura is beautiful. So some people's aura field is like, for instance, if it's sticking out from you, like that guy, his was like 6 feet parameter.
Wow.
I feel like yours is very close to you. I almost feel like his aura is like an inch away. Like it's very close to him, which is interesting because it's like, I don't know if that's like a protection that you have over you, whether either you did it or if God did it, but I definitely sense there's like a thin close, like his aura is very close to him.
Yeah, to get to know him and get close to him is like how you are able to like really feel him.
And what I feel is that you're the type of person that because of that, you're least likely to project onto others. We're talking about projecting. You're probably not one of those people that walks in the office if you're in a bad mood, no one would probably know. Like your auric field doesn't travel too far out of you. Therefore, you probably don't have the biggest impact physically on the people around you.
Yeah.
I would totally say that because like he could have like something horrible happen, or like, you know, he puts himself last a lot of the times. Like he always will, like, let's say like, you know, like if I'm breaking out, like I'm like, fuck everything, I hate the world, I want to die today. If he's like having a bad acne breakout, like he doesn't let things like affect him. He's like, okay, this happened, and like he moves on. He's like still his happy, bubbly, like he doesn't hold. And I know like acne, like that's well, to a lot of people it's a big thing, but you know what I mean. It's like same thing, or like if his tummy hurts or like whatever it is, like he's gonna stick it out and like he'll mention it once, and then you almost like forget that he's going through something because he like does not. You wouldn't know. He's still going to be the same Tyler. He's still going to show up for the people. He's still going to like get through the day. And like, I feel like that helps me a ton because even when I'm not my best self or like I'm in a mood, like it doesn't affect his mood. And so it helps me because I am the opposite. Like if someone's in a bad mood, like it rubs off on me so much to then like I'm like either if I get away from you to feel better or like I'm going to just like have a bad day with you. And I wish I wasn't like that. But also, again, it's what makes me me. But yeah, I would 1000% agree with that. Tyler's very much like that.
I don't know too much about your personal background, but I definitely feel a bit of like a maternal more than paternal energy present.
Flaking.
Very funny.
Yeah. But
like, what do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, it's like
I'm a mama's boy.
No, not necessarily.
No, because I am. So that's what
yeah. I mean, I could see that, but it's more about how you show up and how you you would be. So like, for instance, if you were to have a kid right now, I feel like you would be more maternal with a kid than you would be like playing fetch and more of a fatherly. Like I definitely feel like, honestly, I feel like you're one of the few people that's so balanced in their feminine and masculine energetically, but I do feel like the shape of your spiritual blueprint is a little bit more maternal.
I love that.
And I feel maternal presence like around you that kind of has shaped you. So
yeah,
definitely.
I see that.
But I mean, to get into like the cards, I would, just because so much information specific comes out sometimes, I ask people, you know, like, do you really want to know? Because I don't do the fluff stuff. But then also disclaimer, if God feels like you don't need to know, that's a thing too.
And then you'll hold it. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about my gift is it's kind of like, if God, like, if you feel like things are just so calm, so peaceful, and you feel like your intuition isn't working, you're good. Like, God's protecting you and there's no updates. Like, you're good. Like, just keep chilling. So sometimes that happens with readings too. God will be like, you know, and if you try to force and manipulate information, well, then it's become manipulation. It's not, you know, God putting. So if there is a message that God has for you, or if there is something God feels like you need to be aware of or that we could work through, then it'll come up. But I always tell people, like, if I do that, are you okay with that? Because it is kind of like in order to do it, I have to tap into your energy so authentically, which I was saying, you're in good hands because I have zero judgment. I don't judge people. Even I've given readings to some pretty horrible things and I still help them through it. So I'm genuinely committed to trying to heal rather than hurt. And so, but I do need kind of like your lawyer, they know everything. Like, I'm gonna know, it's gonna come up, it's gonna be, I don't want it to be awkward or weird. So if we're doing that, you know, publicly, if you're not okay with that,
we can cut it out. If anything if he gets,
I trust you.
Yeah. And if anything comes up that you're like, Paul, cut the camera, we will.
Okay. But you give me verbal permission
I give we verbal permission.
I'm so excited for you, bestie.
This deck I love. I've had it for like 14 years. It's actually created by Salvador Dali, the artist. He wrote his own like alphabet and language around tarot. And so I've been studying it and reading it for 14 years.
It's the same ones that we did for me, right?
So a full disclaimer about tarot. Again, I said that my spiritual genetic makeup, I was built up Christian, raised Christian. And a lot of people be like, you can't be a Christian and do tarot. And that's their belief. So, okay. But for me, I would never go to a tarot reader.
Yeah.
Personally.
Well, that's the one that told me I was going to die.
Say that?
Because I told you the story, right? About the lady in New Orleans that told me I was going to get in 3 accidents. And so that's something after we do his.
I was told I was going to die at 27. I'm 36.
Okay, good.
No way.
So you can like break that chain. And like, I'm wondering, because it was New Orleans, I feel like more witchcraft, but that might be.
Oh God, New Orleans
there.
is so.
But to tell like an 8-year-old, like I was like 7 to 8, I have a weird warp.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and she told me that. But then she like predicted our dog dying, and then she like also knew like me and my dad like we're not like getting along at all at that age, and like I really had a lot of resentment towards him, and like she picked up on that, and it was just me and my mom that went. But I think that's like caused me a lot of anxiety in the past like 3 months, because again, intuition's strong, and like maybe that's God protecting me or like my spirit guides or whatever, because I literally will like wake up and I just nope, shouldn't drive today, and like I'm safer if someone else drives me. And so like, and then other days I'm like, no, I'm fine, like I can drive myself. And so I'm just trusting that. But I also I'm hoping like, you know, I don't believe that it's gonna happen. It's just like this feeling of like anxiety about it.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of bad practitioners do, is they just spread anxiety and
but they can't hex you,
confusion.
Really, right?
Oh, I've had so many hexes on me. I mean, part of my accident was death spells put on me. So
holy moly,
it's a real thing, but it didn't prosper. No weapon formed against is going to prosper. And if anything, it's only going to make you madder, because it's going to show me being even greater. So it's really not advised to try to play around with that stuff. And I lived in New Orleans for 8 months, and I feel like there were some witches that put a hex on me when I was there too. And I was creeped out by the energy, and it was just like
you got out.
Way too much manipulation, spiritual manipulation. And so there's 2 angels, my Grammy and my father passed away. And so both of them, I feel their presence. I can, butterfly, like I'll be like there. Snow White when I go outside sometimes. Like they communicate in their own special ways, but I'm never looking to do it. I'm never going to a Ouija board to tell me, okay, Grandma, what's going to happen? Like, I don't believe in that. And so if it comes, then I just accept it graciously. But I'm not all about like trying to manipulate the spiritual realm because there's so much work going on there and I have work to do here. Why try to coagulate the two? In a manipulative way to get what I want out of this material world. It's totally different if you're surrendering to the spiritual realm and you're connecting and you're getting signs and revelations and breakthroughs. That's totally different than trying to just go out and manipulate and create things. And also, I believe like my Grammy and my dad, I don't bother them. I want them to rest in peace. So I'm not going to be, praying to them to do stuff for me. Like they did what they could while they were here, but let them rest now, So that's why a lot of people that try to call on like ancestors and they talk a lot about ancestor work and spirituality. And I just think it's a slippery slope because not all of our ancestors are great and not all of them love us and they're trying to rest and do their work and be left alone. And if you're constantly dragging them back in here, they're like, hey, I already passed that earthly test. You got to pass it now. Like,
bye.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things. And then, so the thing with tarot, I tell people, I have some people that will come to me and then they want to start reading and I tell them that's great. But, like read, study. I mean, if you want to become a lawyer, you take the bar test and same with tarot. I tell people like start with the Rider-Waite. That was the original deck that was created there. So tarot started actually back in like the Roman Empire. I believe they created it for like entertainment. It was like a card game kind of thing. Wow. And then the French adapted it and made it a little bit more symbolic and they started to get more mystical with it. And then from there, it was kind of, it was taken all over the world. So it's been around since, I mean, I don't know the exact date, probably, I think 18 or 17 or 1800s. Yeah. Wow. Or maybe even 1200s, I think. So it's been around forever. And it's something that I think holds so much value, just like the Bible. The Bible is a book that if you read it, you'll get something out of it. And you will probably feel a little bit communicated to about things that are hard to say. And that's what I feel like with tarot. I feel like it does a great job of being able to... the creator of this deck says that the right words at the right moment create magic. And it's kind of true to where if we can learn better tools to communicate, we can create more healing, we can get more done, we can have more success. I mean, communication is just so much more than what we say. And so working with our spirits and trying to communicate like the restlessness or the unease or the peace and happiness, like whatever's going on in our spirits, it's really hard to communicate that. So for me personally, and this is just because I found it at 8 years old and have literally been reading and studying it ever since, almost 3 decades. So I'm passionate about learning. And the people, I would say, be very skeptical of the people that like can't tell you what the major arcanas are and they can't tell you what the elements are and they don't know the meanings of the cards and they tell you they're an intuitive reader. I think back to intuition is slippery slope because yes, we all need our own intuitions, but just like your prescriptions are for your situation, taking somebody else's isn't going to help them at all. And so using somebody else's intuition to do kind of like to only use that other person's intuition isn't going to give the same result. Yeah. And so there's guidance and there's information that we can get from using the cards that you have to know the cards. If you're just trying to only use your intuition, that's when manipulation can kind of happen because you're kind of saying, for instance, if the card has a very specific meaning, there's a few interpretations of each card, but unless you know every single meaning and every single interpretation, you're not going to have the context to really be able to intuitively know what this is telling you. Yeah. If you're just going off, if you're saying, you know, if you're spiritual, bypassing the actual information, just like in your field, like if somebody doesn't actually know what a product's going to do to the skin, they're just telling you to use it, that's a red flag. And same thing with tarot readers. So I kind of am skeptical to get people
love that
to start
info for anyone out there that gets inspired.
Like if you want to go buy a deck, be very careful and don't just start throwing energy around, and you are opening yourself. You are making yourself vulnerable by doing it to energy. So unless you have that stamina and that strength, be very careful and read every single card, every single meaning, and then you create your language. I mean, you start speaking with it how you would like to speak, because whenever we start to do the same thing in spirituality that the religions do with like browbeating people over rules, like you're going to hell because you're wearing a short skirt, that judgment around it, like I've had some people say that, like, oh, well, you're not doing it right because it's supposed to be like this, that, the other. And it's just like, it's micromanaging someone else's gift. It's crazy. So
yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, some people, like what I do is, this is like between me and the reader. So like anyone that has judgment or something to say about it, oh wow.
I love
So
that.
you already got 2 major arcanas. I'll teach you like a little bit about the majors. This is High Priestess and the Star. Every card has, so astrology is actually intertwined with tarot. So tarot is literally the seasons of the year, all the astrological signs, and all the planets in our solar system. So all that information is in these cards, as well as some religious and spiritual deities and scriptures in the cards. So the signs that are associated with the High Priestess and the Star is Pisces or Virgo. It's a divine feminine energy, but it's more around the moon and intuition and your spiritual strength. But the Star is an Aquarius major arcana that's about healing, and it's about communicating to heal. So it's interesting that those are your immediate cards, because that's like what we've been talking about. So I want to make sure that we're getting a message for you, and that it's not going to just start reflecting what we've been saying to us. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not my favorite card. I'll explain why though. So 7 of Swords, 2 of Cups, and 8 of Wands. Do you have a love interest, or are you talking to someone? No. When's the last time you were involved romantically?
I would say a year ago, a year and a half.
Maybe like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, because it was like right when Cyrus was born.
I feel like you might be hearing from them again.
Blocked,
negative
deleted? Energy. Yeah.
Okay, well they're trying to penetrate.
Well, they watch his story every single day
from a fake account.
Every day. Hasn't missed a story.
No. The craziest part is that I post a story maybe once a what?
Like once a month. He wants you back in your mic. That's why.
Once a month, once every 2 months, I post a story. Random day, random time. You'll never know when I'm gonna post a story.
Yeah.
Doesn't follow me from this. But like
monitoring spirit.
But yeah, like doesn't follow me from a fake account. Thinks I don't know who he is, and posts or like watches my story. Like
yeah, I almost get I get some weird things. First of all, he wants to communicate. This is so weird. I don't like it, but he's wanting to come into your reading. And so I'm just going to put up like a boundary there. But he basically wants to try to reach out to you, communicate, and tell you like how bad you've hurt him. It's really more about his experience, although he is obsessed with you. Like I could see him like watching you in your sleep, as you could say. And I'm also getting a vibe to where you see the angel wings that he's wearing. I get the feeling, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm getting, this is 2 of Cups. It represents a relationship, equal love, friendship, lovers. But mostly I pick it, it's a Cancerian card, and I pick it up as a relationship. That's the Cancerian card. So I'm picking up that you are kind of like exhausted with it. And if you look in the picture, the person laying on the bed is kind of like over it. They're over it. They've surrendered the relationship. They're kind of like, this is not a traditional 2 of Cups visual, by the way, but I visually get so much information from these cards, and it's telling me basically that, he's looking back at you 2 different times, because here's the element that you're in, and I only see you here kind of surrendered to it, and I see him looking back at the situation, him wanting in his mind, wanting to communicate and stalking you, and I see like 2 different Actually, there's like all three of these cards indicate that he is kind of stalking you. So the fact that you say that is no surprise. But we're going to clear, alt, delete. This is my least favorite card in the entire, worse than the devil, worse than the tower. Seven of Swords energy is somebody that will mentally like stab you with a sword in the mind. Like it's
that's what
mind
he did to Tyler.
Yeah. Cancers are really great at that. An unevolved Cancer is...
This man is extremely unevolved.
Yeah.
Just like, and just not, not even gonna go there.
Wow. So I see amazing things for the career. I see you getting either a new place or like a new sense of independence on something, new car, new place. I see you, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna see what this is all about. You're moving to this really affected you though, this relationship. It affected you on a subconscious level to where it made you a little bit heavier. It like added a little bit of mental weight, I would say, that just needs to be cleared. There's nothing, I think that there's projections going on to where this person wants you to feel regret or they want you to feel bad about something, but all it's doing is moving you into a more peaceful place mentally. So I see that's really good. But I see you having like a lot of options to where you might not know like what direction or what to choose maybe as far as like either your love life, you might have a couple of options you're playing the field with, or this could be career. If it's career, no matter what you choose, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be prosperous. If it's romantically, use your discernment and possibly if you're talking to a few different people right now, I see maybe two options. Both of them could be air signs. I don't know. I see two air sign men around you. This could be I'm getting the vibe that they might not be romantic. This might be with work or family. Yeah, I see you being in a situation maybe in the future that could be with family, or I just see two masculine presence. Their presence is really strong that you might be for a little temporary, like on the fence with. There might be something, one is older, one is younger, two men that could like back to that evil eye thing. You could be getting the evil eye a little bit. I see these guys. I don't know why. They must be relevant for a reason because they're popping up in your energy. And I just see projection going on. I see the older man projecting something in your heart space, but you'll be healing regardless. But this younger person, either they themselves just feel like giving up in life and they're really depressed and they're in a bad spot, or they're going to try to project that onto you. So the advice is just to detach and do nothing. Like don't engage. Like, because if you do engage this energy, these two men, this could be professionally. I'm actually starting to pick up professionally. I'm seeing like the Page of Coins makes me think that this is in your work, that you're going to have two men, one older, one younger, that are going to, in the future, really be so negative. It'll have you in your head for a minute, but don't work with these people.
We work with a lot of male CEOs with these companies.
Yeah,
so.
I see two men, specifically one older and one younger, both in air energy, very masculine, very fiery, like negative, just very mentally not good. And it could be with like verbally, they could verbally be hurtful or try to business wise cut you in some way that you don't want to get involved with them. Like the advice is the Hangman, and this is a major arcana of Pisces. And sometimes Pisces get unevolved rep. They can be really like get inertia and escape and go into, addiction and it can be really negative. But the positive of the Hangman is that you are surrendering and that he literally hangs upside down from a tree. And when you think about it, he's one, connecting with nature, but looking at something from the complete different perspective, getting that upside down view. So you're going to need to do that in this instance. Professionally, these two men, you're going to need to look at them, whatever your impression is of them, I want you to go possibly sit out in nature and think about them the exact opposite way and do it as like an exercise, not to permanently come up with any ideas about them, but to think about them, whatever you think or experience, think about it in the exact opposite viewpoint. And then I think you'll come to a decision not to work with them. I don't want to see now. I feel like I'm telling you.
No, it's okay.
I see that it's if you do get involved with them, they're going to be trying to create problems, and they will financially affect you negatively. So you don't want that.
No.
So with these nasty men energy.
I know. Goodbye.
Yeah. Like next. Ultimately, though, beautiful. I see the Four of Wands, the Emperor, and I feel like we should just like mic drop at that, because this is so Four of Wands, the number 4, and also numerology is a big component in tarot. So 4 is the most stable number. I mean, it represents the 4th house, which is family, and this is specifically is like a wedding, and it's really about like unison of the divine and masculine. What I told you, how it's kind of equally in balance. It's kind of what that is representing in this image. But it's having a really stable home life and a prosperous home life and being happy and celebrating and having something to celebrate and having that crown like the Emperor energy. This is like Sky Daddy. This is
we love Sky Daddy. I'm getting that tattooed.
Yeah.
I love Sky Daddy.
Like very, very much almost equal with this. So this was the first card that came out. That's why I'm like, we should just end it here, because this is like the highest. Gosh, you're just so spiritually powerful. You're so anointed, because like I see that you have here like in the minor arcana, it's that divine feminine and masculine and balance working together. And then here it's like amplified to like boss status, undeniable. Like these are the Emperor is the strongest. This is the strongest male card in the entire deck. Wow. And I mean, the opposite is the Empress, but to be honest with you, the Empress and Emperor, traditionally in the story of Tarot, they don't always end up together because they both have 2 separate empires they're running.
Wow.
So they represent masculine and feminine energy, but they aren't necessarily the exact representation of unison of each other, because they're so extremely different.
Yeah.
I would say the High Priestess is an interesting feminine energy to match up with the Emperor, because it's basically saying that using your intuition, and the thing about what she's holding in her hand is like the scroll of all knowledge that exists. But she has it rolled up and she keeps it to herself. She's not out here preaching in the street, telling people what they need to do. She keeps all that information a secret. Wow. And so I see that energy, being that was the first card you had come out. Now I just see that staying in that energy really activates that masculine strength. So it's amazing to see you have that in unison together, because ultimately that's like the most healing thing you can do in this whole situation. And I just see you being really confident, secure. I see you having things to celebrate. I see business being good. It's going to be stable and secure. You're building on solid ground. I just see like this little thing on the side that you do need to watch out for.
Yeah.
There's like a couple guys.
The fires you got to put out. Those men are the fires.
Yeah, truly.
Or we should blow them out since they're air. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So you think it could either be family or, but not romantic?
At first I was thinking family, because I saw like a few cups and it felt like it could have been like paternal kind of masculine, maybe like uncles. But then when I saw all the coins come in, I think it's like more work related, because it was more communication and work. Ultimately, than it was family. Usually family, it's all cups. I mean, it's like 10 of cups would come out, some legacy cards would come out, but nothing family came up. I think it's more you navigating your intuition and all the information you have.
But it could be romantic. It
could also be romantic. If it's romantic, if it's romantic or through work, the advice isn't really going to change. I would recommend that you look at things from that hangman position of just getting a different perspective, so that you can better assess how to move around the situation. But you cannot allow them in your head, whether it's romantic or business. Don't allow either genre to penetrate into your intuition, because you actually are building up your intuition. It came out really strong in this reading.
Do you think that has anything to do with, well, I guess energy is collective. If he's around me and I have such a strong intuition, hopefully it rubs off on him.
And how old are you?
25.
Okay, that's a big year. Like, that's a kind of a turning point when you kind of start to become, when we are 25 to 30, that's when we become less of like a girl, more of a woman, less of a boy and a man.
Yeah.
So you're kind of coming more into yourself anyways.
Yeah.
But really, in the next 5 years, it's going to be like amazing. Once you go through a Saturn return, there's like this indestructible, unfuckwithable, power that just really starts to drive your intuition for you. But yeah, I see your intuition pretty strong. I just see you needing to do some kind of mental. I can see that your compass is like your North Star is driven by like your passion. And you are a strong silent type, but I see that you're going to be doing more mental gymnastics. So you're going to really be expanding your mind in new ways. And I think it is professionally.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. That's really good.
Definitely amazing energy. But I already knew that.
Yeah.
This guy's immaculate. But
Thank you.
yeah. I hate that you had that experience with an ex.
What? Oh.
But we all have
No,
it.
it
blocked
wasn't.
his energy.
It
It's
wasn't
okay.
that bad. Oh,
It was bad.
it was pretty bad.
It was
But
pretty bad.
No, I
I'm very
can feel
good.
it.
I'm very good at like shutting out though.
Yeah. I think it was
Which-
like his first time exploring something different for him. And so it kind of, when the first time you try something and it doesn't go the way you wanted, I think it can like taint that for you.
Oh,
going
totally.
forward.
You're kind of like, I don't want to do that ever again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I've been at for a while, and I'm just not, that's why I'm like maybe it could be romantic because like
'Cause where
this
he's
is the
just now
first
trying to get
time
out.
like this is I'm just now starting to put myself back out there.
I feel
a
like
little
that's
bit.
a cancer is a really bad cancer is that's a good experience because it's almost like you gain,
You learned a lot.
like you got like 10 years worth of knowledge real quick. Like you get so much from that experience to where now, moving forward, if you do get involved romantically, it will be nothing like that experience ever again.
Yeah.
But you will have to maneuver that 7 of Cups energy to where, in the card, I should have showed it to you so you could really see. It represents like, let me see. Every cup has something different in it. One is like a snake, one is like poison. And so if you really have to take your time and look at every option to make sure that you're not just grabbing a cup of poison and drinking it, But you have so many options. 7 of Cups. The good side is that, like, yes, you have so many options and you're in a great place and you're building momentum. The bad side is that not everything in that cup is going to be good.
Yeah.
And so you're really going to have to slow down and start to decipher what moves you want to make, because when people see you in such good energy like you are, you become a target. You become a spiritual target.
Yeah, and that's something I worry about with him being so closely knit with me and like, putting him out there and like him coming. I just don't want anyone to ever hurt him.
One thing to remember, and I say this humbly, all 3 of us here are very much alike in that we're like a trap for people. We look like a little innocent bunny rabbit and people are like, oh, I'm going to go fuck with them. And as soon as they do, Sky Daddy is like, not that one. It's like, no. And so they always learn, there's power to that. Don't ever lose that softness. But at the same time, people think like, oh, I'm gonna take candy from a baby, and you have such
That
a
baby
strength.
has teeth. That baby's an adult man.
I mean, and I also think it's like always worked out. Like I feel like anytime someone has tried to impact me negatively or like
Same.
just stuff like I end up better than I was before.
And karma gets them, and it has gotten this man many times, and it will continue to get him because he sucks.
Yeah. People that refuse to be accountable and change their behavior are the ones that stay stuck in those suffering patterns forever. Some people.
Okay, I want to see if you're comfortable and not too energetically drained from him. I want to see if there's anything for me.
Yeah.
Do you want me to switch with him? Is that easier for you?
Yeah, y'all switch.
I need to get close to my girl.
And actually, I'm going to have you shuffle them.
Okay.
Which I never do, but I feel like we need to cleanse these and just get...
Make sure his energy's
Yeah,
off
get
of
that
it.
X out of there.
Yeah, bye.
Just edit him out. Just go
I'm a bad shuffler. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, so am I. I just, like, move him around.
Her on the mic or me?
Oh, sorry. Oh, like
hers?
Like this? Or like that?
I think he's saying that way you can sit comfortably and the mic is like right where you're going to be.
That makes sense.
Get my energy on these.
Same for you, Pookie.
Okay, like that. Oh, look at us. We got redirected. We love that. Oh, you tell me when I'm good or when you feel like
you're good.
Okay.
That's good. Okay.
This is so amazing. I feel so short now on your thing. I'm going to feel like teeny tiny.
Let's just
If we need to move this,
out.
I can move it out of your way. Scoot to give you more space.
Okay, y'all got some work stuff popping out.
Oh, Lord.
We already know.
Okay.
And you can be, you can always be very honest. You're not going to scare me.
Okay, right away, I see you in your head about something. Very in your head. You've been isolating, kind of ruminating over something. Oh, you're looking for, illumination about an option. There's that guy again. So, I don't know. I'm picking up something with work. Like, I could be wrong, but I feel like you feel a feeling maybe to where, like, you worked really hard on something and you just got, like, a little reward or a little bit. It's like squeezing 20 lemons and it's just, like, a little drop,
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're kind of, energy. I don't know if this is with work or personal, but I see you in your head and I see you feeling a little bit like, yeah, I worked really freaking hard and you deserve twice as much as maybe what you got in a situation. And then it came up in your reading and he's coming up in yours. There's like this male energy that I want to say like affected something or is affecting you, or maybe that you're working with, you're in your head about it. And the illumination is going to come.
That's good.
Ultimately,
is this present? Like this person's presently here with us?
Right now, I feel like it's either right now, present, or recent past. I don't feel like this is future for you. I feel like you've been in your head. I feel like something happened professionally. I don't feel like it's personal. I feel like something happened professionally that's had you in your head to where, I don't know. I'm picking up this masculine energy again that kind of like got away with something, or kind of like, how do you explain? Say if you were like playing a game and they cheated and they won and they ran away and you just feel a little bit like, yeah, you got cheated, or like you played so good and you're just like, I should have won.
Yeah.
Like I am feeling a little bit of that. And so,
do you think that's the same masculine energy that we talked about on the phone? That was like trying to come in and like kind of swindle me and fuck things up for me, or is this a different energy?
Okay, now I'm picking up like a couple. Was it a man and woman?
No, but
are you working with a man and woman right now?
Are we? I mean,
or
yes, but I don't know if they're connected.
They might be separate, because what I'm getting is that I think they are separate. Yeah, so that man, he's very successful. He's wealthy. He's, looked at, I think we kind of talked about it earlier about like those people that look like they're great and they're actually assholes. That's definitely what I was picking up with that guy when we talked about him. I feel like he's still in your aura. Like he's still either watching you, or he's still like, he's still watching you and has tabs on you, or he energetically, like, I don't want to say took something from you, because he can't, but he energetically affected you to where it's just still in your auric field, to where maybe there needs to be like a cleansing of his energy. And then, no offense, but I see a woman coming in that wants to work with you, but don't do it.
Okay.
And it's not because she's a bad person. It's just she's like,
I haven't met them yet, right?
I don't know. This could be somebody that wants to work with you that you've already met or you're about to. But I'm picking up on a female that just, she has, she's smart, but she's just at a level that you've way surpassed. And it would be, if you get involved with this female with work, you're going to be going over terrain you've already passed. Like, it's just not going to be beneficial for you. Right now, I think the best thing for you to do is your own thing. Like business wise, I would recommend, my advice, and I've taken it, would be not partnering, not doing anything with others, any new, like no new friends kind of thing. I think like maybe for the next 6 months, like the rest of the year, your focus should just be on tempering like what all you're managing right now, and building upon that, it's going to be very successful. I see you also coming into like, I don't know if you're thinking about doing charity work or like some type of nonprofit, but I see something changing to where you might be starting a nonprofit. And if you do, it's going to be incredibly successful.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I think that should be the focus professionally, is just you and not any sponsorships or partnerships, because I just see so many negative people trying to kind of come in and take advantage, or people that haven't like done the work trying to come in and just get you to do the work, and then they get the accolades, people, they get the pay, and so
they just want my name behind whatever they have.
Yeah, the advice is just like no new partnerships, no new people professionally.
Good to know.
Yeah. And I see you working really, really hard. I think that the temperance energy is just another thing of advice, a little bit more balance, taking that you time and really focusing on filling up your own cup, which you're doing. But more. But if you keep doing it and just stay really strong in that energy for the next 6 months, it will pay off exponentially.
Yeah.
Like if you just stay a little bit kind of like in your shell a little bit and focus on you and healing and pouring into yourself for the next 6 months, what you're building is going to really like take off. It's already built on solid ground. But if you do start to kind of like allow these shiny things on the side, these people that might like...
That's crazy that you talked about that one male energy, because I've been racking my brain for the past 5 minutes, and I think we both know what it is. You know who it is. Has to be. For both of us.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking about getting into something with someone for like a new business venture, and it is a guy.
I would ask you, like,
he's a Gemini. Is that air?
Is he? That would make sense. But is he like? Does he seem really shiny? Like, did it really strike you?
Very wealthy in the beginning. Extremely wealthy.
Yes. Okay, I would say don't do it, because he's got some type of nefarious intention. He just wants to make a buck off you. He doesn't really want to collaborate.
That is what
and y'all probably already knew that, but it's showing up to me. I feel God's telling us.
I feel like things haven't been working out to like meetings that we're supposed to have. Like something keeps coming in the way from us, like actually getting to the point where we're trying to get.
You don't need me.
So I think God's blocking.
God is totally he's
block. Because I was sitting here thinking, like, who could it be that we both know, and like that's the only I know for a fact. And when you said wealthy and like looks like they'd be an amazing person, and
like even spiritually,
it's a test.
Spiritually, he's kind of coming up like, kind of like,
because it was something I wanted to do on my own.
Kids, you want some candy, like the man in the van energy, like it's coming off.
Because I felt like it was strange too that they had no strings attached and just like wanted to help me with something when they like are so wealthy and like already have their own good thing going. Like, why would they want to bother with me?
Well, sometimes also just like, I don't need the cards to pick this up, but sometimes with people like that, it's because you have what money can't buy, and they really want a piece of that, and so they'll throw money at you. They'll do anything for you because they just want like a little bit of your essence. And so that's why it's really important to protect ourselves spiritually, because I am picking up that, it's almost like he wants to like abstract something from you energetically, whether that's like your energy, because energy is capital. I mean, America will deny it, but it's true. Like there's a energetic currency that exists. So people can drain and take your energy, and then they go build on it. And so they do it without knowing. Like I don't think he's sitting over there with this maniacal plan. It's just probably been very successful for him. Like that is how some people just operate. And so I would say what I saw about the intertwine is what we could do energetically is we'll give our energy to them. They take it, they run with it, and because their energy is so clean and amazing, they are doing great. This is why it's hard for people to believe in karma, because they're like, well, if that person did something really bad, why aren't they having something bad? It's because they switched with you. They gave that bad energy to you, so now you're having a flat tire, and they're sailing off in the sunset, and karma is something that really, it's no one's job we can't distribute it to each other. It always happens out of sight, out of mind. And that's how it should be. But that's why I think sometimes we're confused with like bad people getting away with it. And it's because they just never energetically carry that weight. They keep giving it off to people.
Wow.
And so it's really dangerous to get involved with people with like an energetic debt, because you can kind of accrue some of that debt, and it can manifest into the material world, and you can have like real debt, and finances can, you know, go down the drain. And it could just be because you were energetically giving your currency away to where now you have to rebuild that back up, and you didn't do anything wrong. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be optimistic in people and work with people and have hope. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you get that feeling, and like now I feel God's done an intervention to kind of tell us about what to look for and what to really, how to work and maneuver the situation in our best interest. And ultimately, it's in the best interest for everybody, because even this guy, I mean, you can't really exploit people, you know? And if it's worked all this time, then maybe it's time for you to be the one person that tells him no. And that can, you know, divinely guide him to start rethinking his, you know, strategy. Because I see it almost like he used a little bit of like the love bomb effect a little bit, or even like the glamoring. He kind of like used that effect on you because he's trying to swindle something. He wants to get away with something. And then ultimately, like the goal, if that were to happen, I see him just being like high on the hog, but not even like happy, but just like fat and rich and just like, yeah, I did it again. And then I see you being in a lower position and state and position than you would have if you didn't even get involved with him, if that makes sense. So that's why I see that it's kind of like just, maybe bypass that guy for that reason. And so that now you know where, and it's just, I'm just picking up how he operates. It's not that he's this bad person and wants it out for you.
Yeah,
it's just that that's, some people's programming, and it's that's why we don't do business with people like this, you know, because we can get their karma. We can pick up their energy.
And I've done everything alone up until this one point where I was like, maybe I want to like partner with someone in something. So it's really good to know. This woman though, I'm curious if, is it someone that's going to be, could it be like a social media peer, or is it someone that's like going to try to be in my business, like in it?
I think this is honestly someone that either works for you already or is in your circle. I'm picking that up. Either you've worked with her already, or she really wants to work with you. The only thing is, it's very similar. And I feel like, okay, I have to just say what I'm picking up. In spiritual warfare, if a demon, if a principality cannot get to you, they will start to contract like other people, for instance. It's kind of like, hey, I can't get this one. I need to go to my boss and have my boss be able to break the code type of thing. Because like we're all just programmed. We're all code, right? And so what can happen is they start to put contracts out on you. And so that's why a lot of people are like, why do I keep in the dating world? Why do I keep having the same type all the time and the same experience? It's because that demon is shape-shifting, trying to inhabit any and everyone to get to you. And so that's what I'm kind of picking. I got to be honest. That's what I'm picking up here. I see almost like, and this is what I told you, like people are like, oh, I don't believe in the devil. Well, those are the people that are the perfect little temporary host for these demons to shapeshift into. And all they need is for you to have a part of you that is just empty real estate for them. And so it really grows in malice, though. If you have any negativity, then it can really take hold and be attached to you. But some people will carry this demon around. We call them like STDs, spiritually transmitted demons.
I love that.
And you can get them literally just from shaking someone's hand that has the evil eye, and they're just putting that demon on you. And so they don't even know that that's what they are. They don't know that's what they're doing. They're just playing the game, living their life. But whenever you start to recognize, like I'm seeing the energy replicate itself, and I picked it up in his, there's definitely a shape-shifting type of energy trying to get to you, particularly, that I feel like just hasn't been able to crack the code. And what I see here with the Timbers, now that I'm seeing that came out early, and the Ace of Pentacles, I'm just intuitively getting this experience that you had that was like it almost broke you. I think it was when you were younger. And it's like that demon almost won, you know, like an arm wrestling contest. He almost gotcha, but he didn't. And so he's using, he has gotten stronger and better too. And I say he, I don't know why, but this spirit is getting stronger and smarter, and it's trying to adapt into how it can be successful and finally get you on, you know, their side. Because if you turn dark, if you let it beat you, then he recruits you, you know, you're working for the devil too now. So it's really about, that's what spiritual warfare is kind of about. We're fighting over this place,
basically, to get you where you need to. They want you to be,
and it'll repeat, and it'll come in different experiences, but it'll be the same lesson.
Do you see any visuals with this woman? Is it the woman that we think that we've talked about privately?
I kind of feel like it's a different one, and the reason why is because, but it could be the same. The thing about this woman is, you'll know. I'm getting up some visuals about her. I can feel her energy, and she's you'll know her. You'll know her instantly, whether you've met her already or if you're about to meet her. She is, when I told him, like, he has a very close auric field that's very close to him. Some people, hers is big and it's negative. So, like, if she's having a bad day, you're going to hear about it. If she's depressed, you're going to hear about it. If she gained 5 pounds and she's miserable, you're going to hear about it. Like, she's very open and vocal with her discomfort, and she's looking for external source to fix that. Like exactly what we talked about, those people that don't take accountability. But the thing about her, she's not bad. Like what I'm picking up with her energy is like a tug of war, and I feel like it's her spirit trying to connect with God, and God's trying to work with her, and there's moments where there's breakthroughs, and then there's moments where she relapses into a darker state of consciousness. So people like that, you want to help them. We guide each other out of the dark. Yeah, I would say that keep your boundaries up with her.
Do you have any visuals of what they look like?
Dark hair, dark eyes, maybe thinner. Very smart. She's smart. She talks. She's either, I'm picking up, she's either smart or she's very talkative. But I picked that. You know
exactly who this is.
She can be like, she's very in her head. She's not in her heart at all whatsoever. She doesn't operate from the heart. So you don't think I
should try to help or fix this, but I need to get away from this person?
Don't try to, because here's why. Well, do whatever you want, but I would advise you not to, because...
Not to try to fix them.
Not try to fix them. Help them with boundaries, you know? Love them with a strong... no, you know, when you say no, mean it, but give them love. And
as soon as you said that, I mean, we were both like, we know.
I would say communication. Communication actually is going to help. If you want to help her, talk with her, but don't let her work with you intimately. Don't let her have power within your business, and don't let her take up any space in your subconscious and in your mind, because she won't do it intentionally, but she will try to plant seeds.
That's what it is. That's like why it's hard, because I know that they don't mean to be the
road to hell is paved with good intentions. I mean, she could love you to death. I think she very genuinely admires you, but I don't think for the right reasons. And I think that she doesn't know that. And I think that she gets in her head so much that she's trying to put that weight off somewhere, and she has no clue that she's doing it. She just is one of those people that thinks like, oh, well, if, you know, those people that always have like, I'll start the diet Monday. Like it's always something that she feels like is outside of herself. And that's why what energetically would happen if you get energetically entwined and you start karmically exchanging, it's just going to lower your focus and your ability to do what you need to do in your purpose. It's just going to slow you down. It's going to be like speed bump after speed bump. And I'm not saying bad things are going to happen. It's just, I would advise, you know, stay away.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Boundaries. Boundary up. That's what I would say.
And agreed. Sorry, I feel like I cut you off when you were up on this part.
No, this is really beautiful though. It's almost like I don't need to say this, but I want to say this. You just need to be the star. Like, go front and center. You said you did dance growing up. Go point. Like, it's time for you to just be at point and accept that, you know, those bright lights are going to be in your face, but you just have to be the star right now, because if you try to involve other people, you've got a rock of a dude right here that is literally so strong, so amazing, so smart. I mean, you could not have a better asset of a team player right there. And honestly, he does do the work of about 4 people. And so you don't really need to bring in
all these other people.
You don't really need any collaborations right now. Yeah, you've done the work, but now it is kind of about you, yes, pouring into your own cup, having a work-life balance, but also being that star, stepping into that spotlight. And
prepare to be sick of me.
But also, yeah, like really celebrate yourself. Okay. There's nothing wrong.
I need to do that. I think that's just it's been hard for me to do that.
Exactly. And this is why, so 6 of Wands, the Wands are a fire element. This is traditionally like a Leo card. Leos love the spotlight, and I love that about them. They are here to sing and dance. They rule the 5th house over creation, and they're fun and they're lighthearted. They rule over the heart chakra. I mean, you can just feel the warmth of a Leo. Yeah. So tap into that energy. And if you look, they're like riding a victory lap on a horse with gold all around them. Like, just be in that energy, because the source of the energy is not so that you can shit on people and be like, I'm the best. It's literally your right, your spiritual birthright to do a victory lap for all the amount of hard work that you've had to do physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I mean, the work you've done on yourself is shown. It's materialized. So now I think that God is kind of saying, like, work-life balance, and
just keep going and
celebrate
and just balance.
Don't worry about
and
shining
away from him and her.
Yeah, don't worry about shining right now. Like, it really does have the ability to blind the haters. Like, the brighter, and meditate on that bright light. Like I was telling you, some people return to cinder. I don't do that. I just white them out. White bright light.
I'm gonna start doing that,
and just do that as much as you can.
Wow. That's amazing.
You guys are amazing.
No, you are amazing. Thank you so much.
Tyler's a believer now.
A good first experience.
I'm just a vessel.
It's just crazy how it's just so dead on with like the situations we both have been. Not that we like didn't. I know I obviously trust and believe you, but for him to see that, like, I think is really, really cool.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you.
Let's go get Mexican food all together now.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you do virtual? I mean,
we want to. We want people. We want you to say like your social media. I feel like you're open to taking clients. What you want.
Well, the thing is, I've always been word of mouth.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about the stigmas and about the corruption of an industry. So for that reason, what I struggle with. This is my strong suit, but what I not good at is marketing and a website and all that stuff. So I don't
Funny enough, I can help you. I know a girl.
Oh my God. I need that because I have no social media. I have a business, Weapothecary, that I also do on the side. I'll do tea, herbal blends, candles, all with beautiful intention that I meditate over. And so if you want to reach out to me on Weapothecary.
And it's OUI Apothecary.
At just at Weapothecary, and you can reach out to me on there. But I'm very picky. I'm not trying to be
I know
like
that's
that.
Why when
but
people
I
were
don't
asking me like to share, and so like I wasn't sharing. I think some people like found you through my following.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
how.
They really dug for you because I remember when we first met, like you kind of took some time away from it because it was like a lot for you, and so I was like, I'm not gonna like go and like blast her to 300,000 people if like that's not what you want. So I think she really wanted to spread the message about like just what to be wary about, and to like if she's picky, she has a type.
Yeah.
She only wants to spiritually open and divine, like me and Tyler.
The heart. It's about the heart.
Yeah,
and I can see and feel intention. Like if you just want to know, is your boyfriend cheating because you're cheating? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But if it's genuine people that want genuine, help. If I can help, I'll do all I can to try. But I don't take on a lot of new clients. But I am in a space now.
You can shoot your shot.
I'm
better send a good message.
Yeah, I'm starting to think about it.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for
this was amazing.
Believing and just giving time.
It's irrefutable.
I mean, once
and
that's what I was telling him, and anyone I tell him, like once you meet her and talk to her, because like I think again there's a lot of skepticism about it because there are so many horrible, and like I mean again a lot of people just lie and will pretend like they have a gift that they don't have, or they just say what's generic stuff just to like pick up a reading. But like you are true, you are who you are, and I love that like you're not out here exploiting people, and it's just genuine. It's love, it's light, and God works through you, and it's amazing.
We love you.
We love you. And I hope this opens y'all's minds too, to anyone who's been closed off or just felt, you know, some type of way about it. I think, again, like I said, there's good and bad everywhere in the world. You just got to find the right people.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good Monday.
Bye.